Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Monday. I'm so glad to have you here. Before we get started, if you are looking for some cold water, make sure you check out the Coldest Water, which you can actually purchase through my description box and use code Katie Crystal to get a discount. This will keep your water cold for up to 36 hours. All right, let's talk about what's going on in the family vlogging world. We've done a lot of covering of Micah and James Stauffer. There was the Tyson and Ashley Gardner issue. There was the 8 passengers issue. Now we need to talk about something that's going on with the LaBrant family. Now the LaBrant family are a big family channel. They have 12 million subscribers. They are a blonde duo from California that actually look like brother and sister. Maybe that's sort of a prevailing joke when I was looking on the Reddit for this family. But there's something that's been going on, something that's been brewing, and I wanted to kind of talk about this. But before we actually get into what's going on, I wanted to give you a little bit of information about who this family is if you've never heard of them. So according to Wikitubia, the LaBrant family is comprised of Cole LaBrant, who's 23 years old, and Savannah Rose LaBrant, who is 27 years old. They are known as the LaBrant fam. They formerly had a channel on YouTube called Cole and Sav, and they have been on the tube for several years. They have 2 children, one of which is Savannah's child from a previous relationship. She has a daughter named Everly Rose Saudas. She is 7 years old. And then the couple welcomed Posey Rain LaBrant, and she was born December 28, 2018. So she's a year old, and she is actually currently pregnant and expecting a baby boy in August. They started dating back in 2016. They got married in July of 2017. And they are kind of just your average Christian family vloggers. They talk about their faith. They're kind of conservative. Cole is all about, talking about how Jesus led them to be on YouTube. People criticize them because they say that Cole treats his own daughter Posey differently than his stepdaughter Everly. Everly's father, who is from Everly's father, Tommy, is used as content. They consistently make him a bad guy according to critics. Tommy is Everly's father, who she still has a relationship with. And then Savannah consistently has to post on her Instagram how much Cole loves Everly just like his own child, which is sort of a weird admission, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Micah Stauffer stuff, where she always had to say, like, we are never going to give up on you, Huxley. We love you so much. And now she's saying stuff like, you love both girls so much. The same. Yeah, okay. They actually are not without controversy either. Probably their biggest controversy was back in August of 2018. They uploaded a video called A Giant Fire Makes Us Evacuate Our House. This was related to some wildfires that were going on in California. And they decide that they need to leave, but after some sleuthing and some articles and some looking at maps, it was determined that their house was never actually in that zone that needed to leave. And so people started accusing them of using the travesty that was going on in California as a way to get views and clicks. And it was like everywhere. It was in like the news. I actually found an article about the wildfire thing on NBC, BuzzFeed, pretty much everyone covered it. They, of course, said that they were being precautious or taking precautions because she was pregnant at the time. But as such, most people felt like they were faking it just to make content. Another one of their controversies was last year. They did a prank on their daughter Everly and said that they had given away their dog, which obviously wasn't true. And that had people really, really irritated. Okay, so that's kind of the high level. They have 12 million subscribers. They have over 3 billion views on their YouTube channel. They are a young couple that have almost 3 children, and now they're embroiled in a new controversy. So if you're not following all the stuff with family bloggers, when Micah and James Stauffer uploaded a video in May about rehoming their son Huxley, they opened up this can of worms, which had everyone starting to look at the family vloggers. One of the families that a lot of you guys wanted me to look at was the LaBrant family. Now, admittedly, I did look into them initially, and that's when I found out the stuff about the wildfires. But it wasn't until about a week ago that I started to see some other stuff happening. And then some of my subscribers have been sending me screenshots and saying, hey, you need to go check out this Reddit. You need to go look at some of these tweets that he has been putting out. This is really concerning. Obviously, since everything happened with Micah Stafford and then everything that's going on with the socio and political changes in our society right now, everyone is starting to look at the influencers and the YouTubers that we have on our screens with a very fine-tooth comb. We're looking at how these family channels are actually like treating their children. We're having wider conversations about child exploitation. We're talking about whether or not what the people are putting on their channels is consistent with who they are acting like on Twitter. And we're also looking at how they're treating other people around them, whether they've made insensitive comments racially, whether they've made comments about children that are inappropriate. And it's starting to open up a lot of things. Now, this is one of the reasons why we covered the stuff related to Tyson Gardner, was when he was caught sending messages to underage fans. Now, they have actually basically disappeared at this point. So Ashley Gardner basically says, like, I need time, I need space. She's been not wearing her wedding ring. And now we've got the LaBrants. So here's what's happening. About 2 weeks ago, people start going through and sifting the LaBrant's Twitter accounts. And they start to go through Cole's tweets, and they realize that there's a tweet back from 2015. Now, Cole is 23 years old, almost 24. So he would have been like 18 or 19 years old at the time, which again is young, but still old enough not to make this kind of comment. And the tweet is directed at Victoria and David Beckham's daughter, who at the time was only 3 years old. So on April 19th, 2015, Cole tweeted, I may just wait 20 years for David Beckham's 3-year-old daughter because God knows she's going to be gorgeous. Now at the time, again, he was, I think, 18 years old, which is inappropriate for you to be talking about a 3-year-old in that way. Obviously, people start digging through his other tweets and they start to realize something that kind of concerns them. They say, oh, Cole actually met Savannah when Everly's 3, and he's literally tweeting about how he's looking at a 3-year-old, David Beckham's daughter, and saying he'll wait 20 years to marry her because of how she looks. People started putting 2 and 2 together and suggesting that maybe there's something broader here going on. It's an inappropriate tweet, 100%. Does it mean that something inappropriate is going on? Not necessarily, but obviously with the way that we're evaluating these family vloggers, it caused a great stir, and it caused a lot of people to start sifting through his other tweets. And so as they start looking at his other tweets, they start to notice this trend with him. When he was younger, now he again was a kid during this time. He was under maybe 13, 14 years old. He wrote, guys rule, girls do laundry. Now he does come from a very conservative Christian background. He and his wife were having a ton of children. He is very conservative. His mother is very conservative in their Christian faith and their beliefs, which if that's how you are, that's totally fine. But it sort of speaks to this narrative of how he might look at women. Again, he was young, so it's hard to say that. So not only was that tweet about the David Beckham stuff that made people feel really icky, it was that when he and Savannah actually got married, he was finally able to do the deed, right? Leading up until that, he was saving himself until marriage, and he literally, on the day that he became a man, he wrote, feels good to cross off one more thing off the list, bucket list, by virginity, heaven bound, literally telling people about, what had just happened. And then another tweet was found was, your Google searches change just a little bit when you lose your V card. And it has like searches of him about the average size, how long to last, and, can you get pregnant? And he shared all of that in a tweet. So you can't even make this up. And he's also had some things that are just not so kind to people that are in the LGBTQ+. In 2014, he actually tweeted and said, "I agree that both homosexuality and divorce are equally wrong in that they are a sin just like every other sin." So he apparently does not believe in divorce, and he's also anti-LGBTQ+. So, I mean, this is the thing about these channels, is they like are hiding under this glossiness of we are wholesome family values. And obviously there will be people that, you know, they believe that too. So they want to follow someone who believes like they believe. But in today's day and age, where inclusivity is super important and brands care about people having inclusive beliefs, this could be a 100% problematic tweet, even though he was, 17 years old when he made the tweet. He has a tweet about the Beckhams. He's got the tweet about, losing the V card. He has the tweets about his Google history. And then he's got the tweets about being anti-LGBTQ+. So people are starting to go after them, right? But the biggest tweet that bothers everyone is the one related to David Beckham's daughter, which gets people then reaching out to their sponsorships, right? And then they contact Everly's dad named Tommy to let them know about the tweet. And then Tommy says, "Wow, this is super concerning. I need to take a look at this and make sure everything is okay." So then what happens is sponsors start to get contacted by them because of this tweet, and they lose sponsorships with a couple different brands. On Reddit, I found that a company called All Good was contacted by concerned people who saw the tweet, and they said, "Sorry for the delay. We appreciate you reaching out to us and understand your concern. We have cut ties with the LaBrants. All Good is 100% committed to partnering with people who best align with our values." They also reach out to Huck's Baby, another brand that partners with them, and sends this information to them, and they respond by saying, "Yes, we never came across this before. His wife purchased clothing from us on our website, but I see what you mean." So sponsors that have been sponsoring their channel have been notified, and people are starting to notify even more because these tweets are inappropriate, especially the one about David Beckham's daughter. So what happens next is kind of wild, because when this all happens, when they start to lose sponsorships and when they start to hear about the backlash, rather than really addressing it, they just delete their Twitters. And so, yes, within the last couple days, Savannah deletes her Twitter. Literally, if you go to their page on YouTube and you click the account that says for Savannah's Twitter, it doesn't exist. If you go to Cole's, it says it doesn't exist. His mother, Sherry LaBrant, is then seen on Twitter and in Reddit yelling at people and trying to fight with them and trying to combat some of these rumors and call them all liars. And then you have them going on with videos as normal, except their Twitters are gone. And people are starting to speculate, is it because Tommy might be trying to go to them? Is Tommy using this for court? Everly's father, her biological father? Are there some concerns about brands not being able to, or people being able to uncover more and more and more tweets? Now, in the world of Twitter, the Wayback Machine exists, so there's if people are archiving what was on the Twitter, it can still be found. And so even if they delete their Twitters, these tweets don't necessarily disappear. And there's always these questions about, one, he's around young children, he's made this comment. Is that a red flag? I think so. But does that mean he rises to the level of, you know what I mean? I don't know. But brands don't like to be affiliated with that kind of content, at all, right? So then you have this issue of, why are you deleting your Twitter if you don't have anything to hide? Now, people delete their Twitters for a lot of reasons. Could it be that they don't want the backlash, so they're trying to minimize it? I don't know, because they still have their Instagrams up, completely up. Their Instagrams are not touched. They're taking comments. So why would they get rid of the Twitter? Well, I think, in my opinion, Twitter is a place where people tend to be more free with their speech. They tend to be a little bit more aggressive. They might be going after people. They might be more feisty or try to be shocking or funny. And so is it because if the Twitter's accounts were still up, that they would actually find more content about him? I don't know. But given the fact that this is a really large channel, they have these problematic tweets out there, and now they're deleting their Twitter and they're losing sponsorships, it seems as though there's something bigger going on here. What it is, I don't know, but Reddit is like fueling right now. They actually have a LaBrant snark group, which thank you guys so much for some of this content I found from your Reddit. You guys are amazing sleuths. What do you think? A channel with 12 million subscribers with questionable beliefs, questionable tweets, losing sponsorships, then deleting their social media because of backlash and potentially wanting to hide tweets. Why? What are they hiding? What do you think is hiding? We already know that they've made things up. They've made up evacuating from their home. They've made up giving their dog away and pranking their daughter. They fake a lot of things on their channel. They consistently exploit their children's worst moments. They put their kids in really uncomfortable situations. So if that's the case, is there other things on their Twitter that they don't want brands to find so that they don't lose money? And do we need to, as a community on YouTube, start to have a bigger conversation about the LaBrants and if they are another problematic family, and if we need to start talking about how they're managing themselves? I'm not here to say cancel them. I'm not saying here to go and send them nasty messages. Please do not send any nasty messages to this family. Don't be mean. Don't be cruel. Just keep your eyes open. And if you have information or you know anything or you are connected to them, let me know. I would love to hear from you. I am interested to hear what your thoughts are. Leave them in the comments below. Bye, guys.